Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and today is going to be a weekly reading vlog. What you can expect in this video is a little bit of reading and some lifestyle content. This week is kind of exciting for me because I am starting my second semester of my master's program. I want to talk about some of the books that I'm going to be reading for this week, but I also have some errands I have to run today and it is freezing outside. It is, well, I'm dramatic, but it's 43 degrees outside and it's pouring with rain. I have got to run some errands and I thought that this would be a great week to just take you guys along with me and what a normal-ish kind of week looks like for me when I'm doing school, when I am working full-time, and also trying to do some reading and writing and all of my content stuff. It is a little past 10 o'clock. I've been doing quite a bit this morning with school. I am ready to just go ahead and do all of those errands to come back and enjoy the rest of my day. Enjoy. We gotta do some more schoolwork and stuff. I will see you guys throughout the vlog. I hope you enjoy it. Two books that I want to read this week, and I want to talk a little bit about them as I am getting ready to go run all those errands and try and be back by noon. That's my goal, is to try and be back by that time for really no particular reason. But anyways, about the two books I want to read this week. I am currently reading the third book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. It is called Ruin by John Gwynne. I have been really enjoying this series so far. I am about 420 pages in and the book is about 730 pages. I'm about 65-ish of the way through that book. So I really hope I can finish that book this week. Like, that is the goal. And then the other book I am going to start either today or tomorrow is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That book I wanted to read in 2024, but I was on hold for the audiobook for like 5 months. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to read it last year, and I put it on my 2025 TBR because I wanted to get to it last year. I was just really sad I was not able to read that book. I have the audiobook now. I am hoping to start reading it within the next day or so. So those are the two books. I have read one other book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. What book was it? Daisy Jones and the Six, and I really liked that book. I liked the historical context. I liked the nods. I liked the format of that book. Now, I know that the format for this book, Evelyn Hugo, is a little bit different. I don't exactly know the format of it quite yet, but I do know I enjoyed the format of how Daisy Jones and the Six was written. I have high hopes for Evelyn Hugo. I think that is going to be a fun read. And I know I could have read Evelyn Hugo without the audiobook, but I wanted to listen to the audiobook, and that is something about me, is I love audiobooks, but I do audiobooks like slightly different, not slightly different, but the way I like to read with audiobooks is I do like to tandem read at first. Sometimes there are some books that I just cannot just listen to. I need to physically sit down and read it. And the best way I feel like I know I can figure out if it's something I can listen to as I do other things and I don't have to sit down and read is if I tandem read the first like 5 to 10%, and then I can figure out if it's a book I can listen to as I am doing other things. But there are some books, especially fantasy books, I cannot just sit and listen to the audiobook without having the physical copy in front of me. Usually anything that is not fantasy, I don't have a difficult time with just listening to the audiobook, especially if it's something that takes place in our world, if that makes sense. Like Evelyn Hugo, there's not a lot of world building there. You know, I feel like whenever we get magic and world building, that gets difficult for me to just be listening to. But yeah, so those are the two books I plan on reading for this vlog. I hope to finish Ruin within the next couple of days. I know I said that like 5 minutes ago because I have 2 other chunky books I have got to get to within like the next month. So I have one book I have been aching to read for months, and that is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I want to read that book and the prequel before I read my book club pick. I'll be totally honest, I don't don't think that's gonna happen. My friend and I have a book club, and I'll leave it linked down below if you are curious about it. It's totally free. We do it, it's just for funsies. Her and I love reading together, and we wanted to share our love of reading with other people. For that book club, we are reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and that's a pretty chunky book. I have a little more than a month to finish reading Ruin, to read To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, I always say that, Fractal Noise, and Mistborn. On top of, you know, everything else in life. So I don't know how that's gonna work, I'll be totally honest, but all I can do is my best. Be really particular, be very intentional about my time. I don't just want all of my time to be running around, always doing things. You know, I want to make sure I'm taking a break and taking care of myself. That's what I have going on. That's my life. But how are you? How are you doing with life, with everything? Let me know if you are reading any good books, if you are doing some really good writing. Let me know. I would love to know so I can cheer you on. I am gonna go put my shoes on and we're gonna go run and do all of those errands. I have like an hour and a half to do everything. I think I can do it. So I'm home from all of my adventures and I am so ready to put cozy pants on and read. I don't know which book I want to read right at this moment. I really want to continue reading Ruin. I can seriously finish that in the next couple of days. But I also want to start reading the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I think that will probably be later in the week. I'm just gonna kind of float today, see what I'm feeling like I want to do. I still do need to record a video, 2 videos today. Those won't take too long and it's not super bright outside, so I have to like get all the stuff out to film those 2 videos. Oh my god, okay, so I've got this cutest little thing I need to show you guys, and the lighting's probably not the best right now. While I was at the store, I ended up finding this little guy. He's called the Greenhouse Russ. I've never heard of this before, but he was so stinking cute and I just had to get him. Look at that. He's so adorable. I want to hang him somewhere, not right here, but he's got like little legs. So he dangles. Oh, stop it. There were a whole bunch of other ones there too. This might be my new addiction, which is not going to be healthy for my wallet. I might put him up here for now because that's actually kind of cute right there. I'll see where he fits best. I feel like I might want him on one of my bookshelves. I know I'm looking quite dashing this morning. I wanted to say that I am going to do some more reading of Ruin. I am on page 523. I think it's chapter 64. Yeah, chapter 64, and I'm on 533. That means I have like 200 pages left of this big hunk of book before I am finished. I really want to finish it today. It's a lot. I know it's a pretty chunky book, and that's a lot to ask of myself, but I just know if I don't finish it today, I work for the next 2 days, and then I have 1 day off, and then I work for the next 3. And I know that if I don't finish this today, it's all I'm gonna think about for 4 days, 3 days until my 1 day off. And really I needed to use that 1 day off to do schoolwork and some other things. The game plan for today is to finish this book. I am gonna finish this book today. It's a little after 9. I want to sit here until 12 or 1 to finish this book or get as far as I can. I have 2 videos I want to film. They won't take too long because there are a couple of sit-down videos, and then I'll be done with sit-down videos for a little while. Hopefully by 2 I can sit down and do some schoolwork. That's also something that I am thinking about right now too. So I feel like my attention is a little divided, but I don't need to overwhelm myself. That is something I have a habit of doing, is overwhelming myself or feeling overwhelmed when I know I'm in control and I have a plan in my head and I just need to follow that plan. I know sometimes things don't go according to plan, but I'm literally sitting here, I'm just sitting here reading. So there's no reason why I can't do all the things that I have planned for today. That is what we can expect for day 2 of this vlog. Let me know down in the comments below if you are enjoying the vlog so far. I would greatly appreciate it, and don't forget to give it a like if you are enjoying it. I've noticed that the algorithm is I think it's a little confused about my content because I've been mostly posting writing content for 3.5 years. At that cusp of my anniversary of having my channel, I started to weave some writing content in, and I noticed that I don't think the algorithm is too happy about that. So let me know down in the comments if you are enjoying this content. I am going to sit down here and read. I feel like I spent most of my day yesterday in my office. I'm going to spend today here, and I made oatmeal and I added entirely too much milk. So I'm gonna have some milky oatmeal while I finish my book. Finished it. Y'all. Oh my gosh. It's done. I finished this book and it's a lot later than I wanted it to be. I think it's 3. It is almost 3:30. It was totally worth it though. Wow. 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 I don't even know what to do with myself. I don't even know what to do with myself. We're not gonna cry. We're not gonna cry. We can cry, but wow. Wow, 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 wow. I finished Ruin, as I have just been saying for the last 30 seconds. It's a 5-star. This is a 5-star read. Holy hell, this is phenomenal. I'm sad it's gonna be a while before I can get to Wrath, which is book 4, but I have some other books I have to read before I can get to book 4, unfortunately. So it'll probably be March by the time I continue with the series and finish it. I have been quite literally sitting on the couch doing nothing but reading. Totally worth it though. I've taken some breaks, gotten up, walked around, did some laundry, had to go down to the package locker, do all those fun things that pull me away from my book. But now I have to do all the other things that I said I was gonna do today. I still need to film those 2 videos and I have to film them. It's nice and sunny outside today, so it would be a good day to film those 2 videos. But wow. Wow, I'm still just speechless. I feel like I need to stare at the wall for a couple of hours to really understand what I just read and everything that just happened, because I can't even. I am just shooketh to the core. I don't think I'll be able to start The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo today. Since that book took me a lot longer, I don't think I'll have a chance to read anything else today. I'll give you guys an update later. Oh my gosh, this is madness. This is just madness. I am deviating a little bit from the plan I just said. I really wanted to film those 2 videos and then do some of my schoolwork, but I'll be totally honest, it's getting later. I have goofed off enough today, you know, reading for like 5.5 hours, which was 2.5 hours longer than I wanted to. I need to make the executive decision with myself to dedicate the rest of today to doing schoolwork. I have all of this. You can't really see it, but I've written out everything that's due this week. But like I said, I pretty much only have 2 days to work on it, today and Friday. I can never guarantee if I have time at work to do other things other than working. So I made myself a cup of Earl Grey tea. It's quite large. I am going to do schoolwork for the next couple of hours. As you saw yesterday, I went to the store and I got 3 notebooks for the 3 classes that I'm taking and 3 folders to keep anything I need to print out. I usually like to color code everything, but they only had these in red. Well, hello. It has been maybe 4 or 5 days since we have seen each other. I worked 5 out of the last 6 days. It has been quite an interesting few days of work, of life. Everything's fine, all is good. Today is going to be, well, this afternoon I should say, is going to very much be a me time afternoon because I spent this morning trying to get some schoolwork done. I'm so happy I have the next 3 days off in addition to the rest of today. So I had 4 days off in a row. Now I'll be able to do lots of schoolwork, be able to to read. I honestly cannot remember if I said anything about this book in my last update because that was on Friday. It's currently Tuesday, so I have no idea. I can't remember. But I did start The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm about 25 pages in. I forgot how much I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. Her writing is just so easy to get into. Her characters, at least with the two books that I've read from this author, I've just been really able to love those main characters, connect with them, understand them, and have a lot of fun following along with her writing and the characters that she crafts. I am 25 pages in, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I am going to read a little bit more today. Hopefully I can get 3 hours of reading in today. I do unfortunately have to go run an errand later, but I can't do it until I get the notification that it's ready for pickup. I want to chill, read. Crash is down there eating if you can hear him snacking on his kibble. I am also going to be annotating this book. I don't know if I said that in the last update, or if I don't think I did update, but I am going to be annotating this copy because I really loved Daisy Jones and the Six. That was a library book and I didn't annotate that book, but I want to annotate her writing and any parts that I really enjoy. I am going to underline them or put some stars, dots by them, and all that fun stuff. Okay, listen, this is off topic. I just have to mention this. I'm from South Georgia. It gets cold, but not like cold like the rest of the world experiences. It is currently 38 degrees outside and I don't know what to do with myself. Overnight tonight, we're supposed to be getting a winter storm, and this is gonna sound really ignorant. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a winter storm because I've never experienced one. I experience hurricanes on a yearly basis. I did not know that winter storms were a thing, and apparently we've got one coming for us. We are all stocked up. We're all ready to rock and roll. I don't know what's gonna happen. Hopefully I'm here tomorrow and I can, you know, finish my book at least. I've heard we're supposed to get snow, but I honestly don't think we're gonna get any snow, but I mean, what do I know? I finished The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It is a 5-star read. I loved this book. I couldn't put it down. It's brilliant. I have come to realize that I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style, how complex her characters are. I absolutely love all of the characters in this, and I feel like this author always does such a great job of making really complex and real characters that feel like real people. This author spends a lot of time with creating not like backstory, but just making these characters dynamic. Some of the decisions that are made in here, you can just be so angry about what happens, how situations are handled, but at the same time, because Taylor Jenkins Reid does such a great job with crafting these characters, you know that those are the choices that they're going to make. It doesn't mean that they are right and that they're just and that they are fair, but it makes you understand more as to why these certain characters make the decisions that they do when they are presented with certain issues and situations and circumstances. Like I said, this author crafts characters that are so complicated and complex. I loved and hated Evelyn all at the same time. I feel like the interactions with these characters too, the dialogue, and then those certain fun phrases like back in the day were really fun to read about. I really enjoy banter between characters. I put in here when one of the characters, where was it? Evelyn was talking to one of her husbands. I thought it was really funny when she basically told him, whenever you say things like this, you sound like a horse's ass or something like that. But I loved dialogue like that. I loved having that side of Evelyn where she really wasn't afraid to speak out and she wasn't afraid to just kind of like tell you how it is. And that's what I really admired about Evelyn. Something I'm coming to realize with myself is I love when books are told or written in this format. I like when there is media or some type of, not necessarily social media aspect, where in here you had those different types of newspaper articles. But we had like Sub Rosa and then we had Photo Moment. I enjoy books that have elements like this in it, and I love dual timeline stories. I have slowly started to realize that about myself, because I do love when we have a timeline in present day and then we go back to the past. It's no shock that I did enjoy this book and I loved those certain kinds of aspects of the story. I think the reason they work so well is you get to see Evelyn's story, but then you also see how the media portrays things, and you see how the media kind of has their hand in how the public is going to view certain types of information, right? And that was something that we learned pretty early on before Monique had met Evelyn. She did a little bit of research on Evelyn and she was watching some of those old film clips and reading some old articles and everything. So we got to know Evelyn how the public would have seen her, but then I loved how we saw Evelyn's side of the story. And on page 13, at least it was in the copy that I had to keep reflecting back to this one page because it's the start of chapter 2 and it pretty much has all of her husbands written here. And I found this page very, very useful and I kept flipping back to it because whenever we had another man introduced, I was like, are you gonna be a husband? I wanted to say this about Celia St. James. I loved the fact that she was from a small town outside of Savannah, Georgia, because same girl. I loved that part of this so freaking much. I fell in love with Celia. Lastly, I do want to talk about Monique because I loved Monique's character. I feel like she needed Evelyn and Evelyn's story right at this moment in her life. And I know that's why the author wrote it that way, but I definitely think that our main character, Monique, she had to experience all of this. And I think one of my favorite scenes of her was towards the end. I almost felt like she stood still, but time like was zooming past her when she was waiting to either get on the train or she was going to decide to do something different. What I really loved about that situation was how she came to terms with the choice that she did end up making. That whole page of like her conflicting thoughts was just so beautifully done. And I think that Taylor Jenkins Reid really nailed those thoughts and made that scene, those words pop off the page and feel like a scene that I was watching in a movie. I thought that that scene was pretty much this huge character arc for Monique, and I was so happy with the choice that she did make. I loved her reasoning out why she was going to make the decision that she ultimately made. The last final thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go is I love how love was portrayed in this book. And I think this book is what makes it so different from other stories, is that love itself is so complex. You know, like it's not just, and this was mentioned in the book, where love is not just passionate love or, you know, platonic love. Like it's so complex, complicated, it's so hard to understand, but that is what makes life, and that's what makes love beautiful. You know, it's different for everybody. With society trying to put love into different kinds of boxes, I think that the exploration of love in this is, you know, breaking out of those boxes and having the readers understand that love in life, you can't put those things into boxes. And that's what I think Taylor Jenkins Reid did so freaking well. At least to me, with what I wanted to get out of this book and my expectations of it, I think that this book absolutely was brilliant. Wow, I couldn't get enough of it. It's a little under 400 pages and I just could not get enough of this book. I did end up finishing 2 books in this video, which is super exciting. Even though this video did go over a week, but because I worked 4 days, and I mean, come on, I can't take you to work with me. Let me know down in the comments below what part of this vlog was your favorite. If you have read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, or if you have read The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. Also, let me know what book you are currently reading. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.